always tracking so we can warn you first. This is your Storm Team 27 forecast.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us back in the Weather Center. We're going to talk about the latest with Irma and the potential for some storm surge, some strong winds and flooding here. But I do want to start with what we're seeing in the valley right now. We're seeing temperatures already into the upper 40s in some spots, low 50s in others like Columbiana County, still 50 in Wellsville as well as Calcutta. But if we go to the wall here, we're going to see that temperatures aren't going to be the only thing that we're tracking for tonight. As far as clouds and radar, we're going to be clear, but that's really the problem for today. We've been talking about it with all of the clear skies tonight. It's going to allow all that daytime heat to really lift up and evaporate and erode away. So tonight, some of us will hit the 30s. Yes, that's going to be cold, but we are going to see a warm up here come midweek. We'll go back to the valley as soon as we're done talking about Hurricane Irma and Major Hurricane Irma. You can see the eye wall now pushing off the coast of Cuba and a really strong eye wall. We're looking at winds just around 120 miles an hour, but notice the outer bands already reaching in places like Fort Myers and Naples all the way to West Palm Beach. Now, to give you some context, this storm is roughly 400 miles wide and the peninsula of Florida just about 150 miles wide. So even though we show that cone and that track, again, we're expecting hurricane force winds from coast to coast. This is a massive storm. We're seeing the 120 miles an hour wind, a category 3 storm's wind speed. But the real concern, northwest now moving towards Florida at 6 miles per hour. You can really hop on a bike and outrun this thing. It's moving that slow, which means that all of that warm water and the sea surface temperatures that we're seeing, roughly around 89 degrees, is going to help fuel this storm. So we all remember from high school science class, middle school science class, heat equals energy. So the more heat we have, the more energy this storm has to play with. And even though we're seeing it move at 6 miles an hour, it's still got a long way to go before that eye makes landfall, and it could strengthen back to a category 4, category 5 hurricane here within the next 12 to 24 hours. As far as the hurricane warnings extending all the way from Key West up towards now Georgia, Albany, Valdosta area, Jacksonville now under a hurricane warning, but those pink areas you're seeing, that is tornado watches. There's been several tornado warnings already in effect near areas like Punta Gorda all the way till Boca Raton. But also on top of that, what we are seeing, that rain tracker. We're seeing rain. Now notice our scale goes all the way to around 7 inches. That's for most of the state of Florida. Some areas, even into the state of Georgia, could see upwards of a foot of rain here within the next 24 hours. A tropical tracker, we're having that storm push up the left coast and the west coast of Florida. But notice those of us in the valley, we're keeping a very close eye on the end of these maps and the end of tropical tracker, because where it goes next, notice how it starts to make that northeastern track just from Tennessee, and it could push into the valley. That's why we have that rain threat mainly from Tuesday to Wednesday, even into Thursday and Friday. We're only keeping a 30% chance because I'm still not confident that that rain could reach us. But if it does, we're just going to keep a very close eye on this because it could cause some rainy conditions here within the next couple of days. But over the next 24 hours, it's going to be beautiful, but it's going to be chilly. We're seeing lows back down into the 30s in some spots for tonight, but clear skies tomorrow will warm us up, but only into the upper 60s. So overall, we're expecting lows right around 40 degrees tonight, mainly clear skies, and then by tomorrow, highs into the upper 60s, mostly sunny. And then as we look into the 7-day forecast, we are going to continue to warm. We're looking at 74 on Monday, 75 on Tuesday, and we're going to continue to climb, especially as we go into the later part of the week, even next weekend. And we can't, even though we're seeing cooler temperatures, rule out 80s in our forecast just yet. Dan?